I ugly cried the day I lost trial for 4 hours straight. It was March the 13th, 2012, a day I never forget. After I lost trial, this part of the story of my testimony is really focusing on God's grace, because even though I could not recognize it then and I wasn't really paying attention to it, God's grace was all over my life. At this point, I done lost trial, I done cried, I done accepted the fact that it is what it is. I thought I was going home. I wanted to go home. I was hoping I was going home. But she, in fact, did not go home. When I lost trial, it was March. But because it was my first time being convicted of a felony, what you do in the state of Florida is you go through a PSI, which is a pre-sentence investigation. So it gives you time to call like character witnesses to present things to the judge to show that you are more than just a criminal. There's other parts of me, Your Honor. I'm not just a bad person. Like, please have mercy on me. I didn't end up getting sentenced until May 7th, which was months later. I'm sitting in confinement, and at this point, I'm like, I was being very rebellious. I was being bad. I was going back and forth with these people in the county jail. Like, I just was making them miserable, because it's like, if I got to be here, I'm gonna make y'all miserable while I'm here. And when I lost trial, it really humbled me, and I felt so defeated in my spirit that I no longer felt like a problem. Like, at this point, this is about to be my life and my reality. I cannot make these people hate me. Like, I can't keep going back and forth with them, because it got to the point where they was denying me trays, they was denying me showers, and I'm not saying like they was just treating me some type of way. I was really giving them a hard time. I know I had to change, because it's like, if this is gonna be my reality, do you want to shower? Do you want to eat a hot meal? Okay, so tighten up. I'm sitting in confinement. I got 120 days, and this is in March. So I'm sitting there. I lost my trial and everything, sitting in a cell by myself. I'm sitting in confinement, and they like, it's somebody on the screen, like somebody got a visit. You do not get visits in confinement, but they have like this little kiosk screen where you can do like video chat. So they like, somebody is on the screen. Like, who is that? Somebody's on the screen. So I'm laying in my bed, because I know it's not for me. Like, listen, I done terrorized these people. I know I ain't getting no visit. Anybody getting a visit, but I know I'm not. I'm laying there, and it was like, it's a black lady. Like, somebody is on the screen. I'm still laying there. I ain't paying no attention. I'm like, oh, well, congratulations to somebody. They come over the intercom in my cell, and they was like, Shosh, you got a visit. So I'm like, a visit? I get up and I look, and it's my mama. So I'm like, okay, I just lost my trial a few days ago. So I get on the screen. She was like, how you doing? Are you okay? You know, da 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 da. And I was like, I'm fine. You know, it is what it is. And she was like, the captain let me see you. She was like, I ain't got long just to check on you and make sure you was okay. She was like, I want to make sure, you know, you in good spirits. And, you know, I mean, I just lost trial. She want to make sure I ain't trying to going on to the upper room. She rushing because she ain't got time. She was like, but the captain let her do it, and she was giving me advice. You know how parents do. The visit was real quick, but the fact that the captain she named that gave her the permission, because she said she was begging and begging and begging, they finally let her. The captain that gave her the permission, I cussed that man out like a dog for no reason. Like, that man ain't even do nothing to me, and I cussed him out just because he walked on the pod one day. And the fact that that is the man that granted my mama access to be able to see me to make sure that I was okay, that was nothing but grace. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could get away with a little bit, because y'all let me get a visit. So I'm like, I'm finna write a request and see if I can get out of confinement. Mind you, I have terrorized these people since the moment I got there. Okay, I was like the little seed of Chucky. I'm like, I'm gonna ask anyway. Like, the worst they could do is say no. So I write a request, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be good. Can I please get out of confinement? Can I please go back upstairs? Da, da, da. I just knew the people was gonna be like, girl, bye. Like, pass my request around. Like, y'all, look at her. Look, she got some nerve. But they didn't. The captain came down and seen me. It was a different captain. She came down and seen me, and she was like, I got your request. And she was like, I just need you to know. She was like, if we let you go back upstairs, she was like, anything that happens, she was like, if you get in trouble again, you're gonna be down here until you go to prison. To the point where if you go to prison years later, get out, come back to jail, you're still going to be in confinement. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. I was good, y'all, because I got tired of being in confinement. So now I go back upstairs, right? That was grace itself, because, mind you, these people stopped writing me up. I had got up to 120 days, but they stopped writing me up because they felt like it was a waste of time, because they knew I did not care. And the fact they came down there and granted me to go back upstairs, I think I had undid 4 times 3 is 20. I had just did 3 months. So I pretty much had like another month, and they let me out. So I go upstairs. I'm so happy. Now, this is the first break that I feel like I've gotten, even though it's not. I go upstairs. That was grace. That was God touching those people's heart to allow me to come up out that cell. I don't know why, but he allowed me to come up out that cell. So I go upstairs. I'm so happy to be out of confinement. So I'm upstairs. Everything is all good and gravy. So then it comes time for me to get sentenced, right? So months done went by, months done went by, months done went by. Now it's May 7th, and I've met so many people from prison. I've met so many people who've been in and out of the system, and they like, listen, girl, you lost trial. Oh, you finna get the max. And my max was 30. So they was like, girl, you getting the max. My minimum was 7. So the judge had the power to sentence me anywhere from 7 years to 30 years. So I'm just like, God, You know, it is what it is. Can I please, like, at least let me get like 20, like, you know, 25, please not let 30, like 30, come on, 30 years at 20, I would have been 50. So I'm like, Lord, no, I'm only 20 years old. Like, please have mercy on me. So it's time for me to get sentenced. And I just know I done made up my mind. Like, I'm probably gonna get like 30 years. Like, I took these people trial, wasted their time. The state kept offering me stuff and taking it, and I was turning it down. The state kept, you know, and it's just all that back and forth. So I was like, I know, like, I know. It is what it is. I get sentenced. As y'all know, the judge sentences me to 10 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. That was nothing but grace. That lady had the power to give me 30 years. She gave me 10 years. Now, even though I hate every moment of this probation I'm on, that was grace, because I don't know if y'all understand how it goes when you lose trial and then you go in front of a judge and the judge has the power to give you what they feel like they want you to have. That lady gave me 10 years grace. And it's like God just kept giving me grace after grace after grace after grace. I knew that was grace. Those other times, it took years for me to sit back and reflect and look back on my life for me to be like, dang, you know, God was looking out for me here. God was looking out for me there. I knew right off the rip when that lady said 10 years, like, I was so happy. I didn't even know a person could be happy about getting sentenced to 10 years in prison. I'm talking about happy. I went back upstairs and everybody's standing on the windows and everything. And like, they look in, they like, you know, what's going on? Because everybody knew I was getting sentenced. So when I came back up and I had a smile, like, the people was like, well, did she get time served? Like, did she? Like, she don't look like she went to sentencing. She don't look like she lost trial and she went to sentencing. And that's just a testimony right there, because when God is in your life, you do not look like what you is going through. I did not look like a sentence that day. Even more grace. Like, God just keep compounding grace on top of grace on top of grace. My mama was in the county jail the day I got sentenced. So there was nobody in the courtroom standing on my behalf. When I got sentenced, it was just me, the judge, and that was all. So I'm standing in the courtroom getting sentenced. My life is in front of me. And the judge can go left or right, and there's nobody in the courtroom to even offer more support. There's nobody in the courtroom who even cared enough to be there when I had got sentenced. My mom was upstairs, and these people unlocked the door when I was walking back to the dorm, because we was in 2 different cells. They unlocked the door in the cell where my mom was at and allowed her to give me a hug and console me. And that is great. For one, you don't hug and while you're incarcerated. You don't hug. That's called a 9-7, unauthorized physical contact. So that's number one. And number two, those officers do not just, that's not necessarily risking their job, but it is if somebody would have made it a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, those officers don't risk their job to do you a favor. The officers that's in the Department of Corrections that's risking their job is risking their job for themselves, for a personal benefit. I gave these people hell. I took them up and through there. Like, that was all the more reason for them to abuse their authority and be like, nope, remember you cussed me out? Remember you did this? Remember you made my life hard? Nope. Grace. They opened that door and allowed my mom to give me a hug. And it's like, now that I've come out on the other side of what I went through, I can actually see how what happened to me affected other people, because I never considered it. I'm like, I'm the one going to prison, y'all home. I'm the one that got to go up the road and do this time, like y'all. So I never really, nobody couldn't get on the phone and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sad, I'm so this, I'm so that. I don't want to hear that. What you mean? You ain't no sadder than me. That's like when you lose somebody and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, my condolences. It's like, you do know that they mean well, but is that gonna get me out? Like, no. I need to be the one throwing a pity party. I never really considered how that felt. Like, for my mama, I was the youngest, I was the baby. I was the one that was gonna, you know, get us out the hood. I was the one that was gonna get us out the hood, and here I am on my way to prison. Oh my goodness, my poor mama, I know it broke her heart, but I was not thinking about how it made my mama feel. I was thinking about me. And the people was like, girl, something is wrong with you that you not distraught by 10 years. But it was grace, baby. God had mercy on me. Like, I could still be in prison right now to this day. This moment in time, I could still be incarcerated, but God had mercy on me. When that lady was sentencing me, she said, I'm going to give you a second chance at life. And she, in fact, did that. I got locked up when I was 20. I made it out when I was 28, right before my 29th birthday. So though I spent a lot of time in prison, I was 28 when I came home. I'm 33 now. I can still live a full life. That lady would have gave me 20 years. I would have been 38. I'm 33, finna be 34. I would have been almost done. I would have had 3 more years. When I realized that you is not better than these people, girl. You going to prison too. Like, I know you thought that something was gonna shake and you was gonna go home, but you're not. Psych your mind, make your booty shine. We really do believe in that stuff can't happen to us. Like, when you see stuff happen to other people, you be like, yeah, that can't happen. Like, you know it can, but you don't believe it can. So me going to prison, it just shook my whole mind. It just allowed me to understand that you're not too big for anything. Like literally anything can happen to you. So I am aware of the world around me, consequences, how every single thing that I do compounds on my future, compounds on what I have to reap, because you reap what you sow. I no longer can live my life not considering other people, trying to get over, like being a liar, being malicious, like doing things with ill intentions. I can't comfortably do that, because I know even if it doesn't happen today, the worst thing you can do is get a delayed karma. Like delayed karma is the worst because it hit the hardest. Delayed karma will rock you to your core. You better off getting that instant karma. Like when you do something, you stub your toe. Or when you try to check out at a store, your card declined. Like it's better to get the instant karma, because when it's delayed and it feel like you getting away with it, that is the worst kind. That is the worst kind. God, go ahead and let me know I'm wrong now. Please don't wait. Please don't wait. I didn't get shipped off to prison for a few months because I still had another case over here, which is why I ended up going back to jail. I had a retaliation against a witness charge over here, but they would not deal with this charge at all until I finished my trafficking, because they like, girl, that is peanuts. That is peanuts to an elephant. We not worried about this charge. You go deal with this one, and then we'll deal with this one. So even though I was sentenced, I knew I wasn't going to prison right then and there, because I still had to deal with this charge, and I had to go back to court for that. And I ended up getting sentenced to prison for that too, but it was like 16.8 months, and they ran it concurrent. So when you have two sentences, it'll either be ran concurrent or consecutive. Concurrent means it runs together. So my 16 months and my 10 years, they start at the same time. So I will be done with my 16 months and still serving my 10 years. It'll all be in the same timeline. When you get sentenced concurrent, that means one after the other. So that means I would have had to serve my 10 years, and then after I finished that sentence, then I would have had to serve the 16.8 months on the back end. Thank God for concurrent, okay? Because I heard people with consecutive charges, and they're like, oh, because when somebody be like, oh, I got 5 years on this charge and 5 years on this charge, you be like, is it concurrent or consecutive? They say consecutive, your heart hurt for them. They couldn't run that all together. They couldn't put. So if you ever hear that, that's what those terms mean. Hopefully you never have to know what none of this stuff means. But if you do, you want to hear concurrent at the same time. That's what you want to hear. That is pretty much all I have. And I just challenge you guys that try to see the grace in the small things and his mercy in your life, because it's not always going to be the grand scheme of things. You don't just want God to show up when it's grand. You want him to show up in the small everyday details, because those matter too. And God is in all the details, big, small, in the middle, it don't matter. Like he's in every fiber of everything when it comes to his children. Now, if you're not his children, then how's that working out for you?